I'd like to get started. Thanks, Alex, for starting the recording. So Mylene, if you could admit everyone, we'll get going.
Okay, got it.
Thanks. Perfect. Hello, everyone. And I see you're joining right now. Welcome. Thanks for being part of today's ADRC Fridays Roundtable. So as we get started here, my name is Amanda Price, and I'm part of the ADRC team at the California Department of Aging. As speakers introduce themselves today, we'll use a visual description. So I am Anglo, middle-aged with long blonde gray hair, and today I'm wearing a lavender sweater. Thanks to ADRC teammates who are here today, Mylene Ikmet for her support running the Zoom. And please say hello to the rest of the ADRC team, Wilson Tam, David Morikawa, Jeanette Fong, Rosie Carvajal, Carol DeAndreas, and Alex Griffith. So just an overview and some meeting logistics to start. We'll have some polls today and remarks from 2 partner ADRCs, as well as breakout rooms. You're able to unmute and mute yourself throughout the roundtable, and there will be plenty of time for you to connect with each other during the breakout sessions and share your questions and practices then as well. If you're dialing in, please dial *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Chat is enabled for all of you today to share comments with each other during the hour, so please feel free. Open chat up anytime. Closed captioning is also available, and to turn this on, click on the CC or live transcript button on the Zoom toolbar. We're recording this roundtable, and the recording will be available after today on the ADRC Library tab on the Partners and Providers website. And if you're having any technical issues with Zoom today, please email adrc@aging.ca.gov. So with that, let's start with a quick poll. And please welcome the newest member of our ADRC team, Alex Griffith.
Thank you, Amanda. I'm going to launch the first poll, which consists of 3 questions. The first question is, what organization are you part of? A AAA, ILC, other ADRC partner, other organizations serving older adult or disabled population, or not applicable? Our second question is, what part of California does your organization serve? Northern, Central, Southern, or statewide? Our third question is, salty or sweet? Salty, there is no other. Sweet, always and forever. Both preferably in the same snack, or neither. So I'll give you a few more seconds to get your answers in. And our first poll for today. See, they're coming in. Just waiting for a few more. Excellent. Okay. It looks like 43% attending today are AAAs, 40% here are from ILCs, 3% are from other ADRC partners, and 14% are with other organizations serving adults or disabled populations. Looks like no one put not applicable. For a second question, it looks like 43% are joining us from the Northern, 20% from Central, 34% from Southern, and 3% statewide. Welcome. And our third question, salty or sweet? 17% salty, 26% sweet. Looks like 57% for both is winning the race there. So looks like we like our snacks. Kicking it back to you, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you. It is lunchtime. So today's topic is about outreach and awareness for ADRCs, and a special thanks to Monterey ADRC and the ADRC of the Mother Lode for sharing their practices today, and we'll hear from them in a moment. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce ADRC Bureau Chief Wilson Tam. Wilson?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I was actually looking forward to someone answering neither salty or sweet, so I can ask them what they like, but it seems like there isn't neither. So Wilson Tam, I'm also with the California Department of Aging. I'm an Asian American male with a black sweater and a teal button-up shirt with glasses and black hair. So first and foremost, just want to thank you and welcome our designated emerging ADRCs, including our new ADRCs, our newest ones, and those who are interested in starting an ADRC partnership. So for those that didn't know, we now have 15 designated ADRCs and 9 emerging, jointly now covering 50% of the state's population. So we've grown a lot. Thus, we have a large attendance today. Really, the purpose of these roundtables is, we started it, I believe, last year, and it's really to provide an opportunity for our local ADRC partners to talk, learn, and connect with their peers. And thanks to you and the feedback that you've received, that's how we've come up with the topics that are most beneficial and valuable to you. And so today marks the beginning of a new series of roundtables that we've started with, after today, we'll have also one in March and one in April. So keep letting us know, how we can best support you, what topics work best for, are most beneficial to your ADRCs. And just overall really letting CDA and your peers know how we can best support you and each other as we continue growing our ADRCs statewide. So with that, Amanda, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Wilson. So to get us started on the topic of outreach and awareness, please welcome Monterey County ADRCs Travis Bai and Maria Magana. Travis and Maria, thank you for sharing some of your practices. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Travis Bai. I'm an Anglo middle-aged male with brown hair, and I'm wearing a blue and gray plaid shirt.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Magana. I am Latina, have dark brown hair, glasses, with our CISO logo on the background, which is kind of like a sunset coming down on a forecast of mountains in different green colors.
Next slide, please. So we're going to be talking today about Monterey County's ADRC, how we've developed our outreach and awareness in Monterey County. And I'll let Maria start us off.
Sure. Next slide, please. So first and foremost, I want to welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I know it feels like an overwhelming week, but hopefully today's information will add value to the work that you're doing across the state. In the model that we've promoted and conducted in Monterey County was to focus on outreach to key extended partners throughout, whether it be individual meetings and or presentations, what I'd like to call relational meetings, where you get to know each other, not only what the specific works that the agency does, but how can you come to the table and support each other's work. In addition to that, we were part of the Extended Partners Network meeting, better known as the Aging and Functional Needs ADRC Connections Group, in which we brought these groups who were working on the same issues together to bring more information, updates, and information on how can we work together, because we're working with aging and disability community members. Community outreach presentations were conducted to existing networks and groups, and we've always promoted them and saying, if you're interested, if you're curious, or would like to know more of how we can serve your agency, please let us know. And Travis was very wonderful in providing a link where people would register, and that was a very helpful tool for us. Direct outreach to consumers as well through community events and media. So we really try to use in today's organizing and outreach using media, but at the same time, the present relationships we had And because of that, I'm going to focus on the left side. We have multiple circles. The background is in blue, stating no wrong door system infrastructure, followed by 4 circles in red, outreach and awareness, in the orange, person-centered counseling, in lime greenish, streamlined access to public programs, as well as governance and administration. And right below it, we have the Aging and Disability Resource Connection logo with our county ADRC for Monterey County. So I want to really focus on those bubbles that I just was mentioning, especially outreach and awareness. What we've noticed in our county is that people think that this is a new thing, the new ADRC philosophy, the no wrong thing. And so we needed to go back and say, no, it's not that we're doing something new and different. We're just mainstreaming. We're making it simple. We're trying to get away from the silo effect that we've always done. And that would be whether because of population that we were serving, or whether it be because of funding sources or the number count. And we really say, I'm a very visual learner, and I would always say, where's the relay effect? Where does the baton end and where can I pick it up? What are your weaknesses and how can we support via our strengths? And that was a lot of the outreach that we did in terms of promoting the philosophy that both ILCs have done since eons before me, right? And that AAA also conduct, which is really promoting how can we serve the consumer where they're at. And so because of that, it was kind of like, oh, I didn't know this was something totally new. And it was a lot of education that we needed to do. In addition to what I was talking about in reducing streamlining, was silo effect is to streamline the access to the public program. Specifically for Monterey County, thanks to the AAA, there's a specific software, better known as Capstone. And for those who are local to the area, that most people were thinking related to the CSUMB local university here, but that's actually the name of the software that we're using, in which community partners or any community resident would actually look at what resources we would have locally and how we can streamline and make things a little bit easier when we had to refer a person. Still in the works, but that's the goal. In addition to that, person-centered counseling. And this is where AAA's really held close hands with an ILC. So all my ILCs in the room right now, hello to everyone, because ILCs really focus in serving in 3 specific areas to a consumer. We either educate, we either inform and advocate for the person, and or we support before, during, and afterwards. In many cases, I say before 6 months and then after 6 months, we do counseling services or options counseling, and transitional services to healthcare institutions is our big one. And for that same reason, I'm going to go to the next one. But governance and administration, this is where we work with the state and saying, how can you help us be a little bit better? The next one slide, please. I don't know if you heard me when I said next. So additional key extended partners identified by research to our scheduled meetings with leadership, presented on ADRC models and answered questions that they might have, invited them to be part of our extended partners networks as well, because the more the merrier, invited them to a new pilot element of ADRC development, such as a database that I was talking about for referrals. In addition to that, developing MOUs with key healthcare partners for transitional services. Next.
And I can take this slide. So another element that Maria mentioned is our extended partner network meetings. And we created initially a meeting called ADRC Connections to bring together extended partners. And initially we were meeting on a quarterly basis. But then we were working closely through the AAA during the COVID pandemic as it was starting. We had our Emergency Operations Center had a group that was started that was facilitated by one of our AAA analysts called our AFN group, which is Access and Functional Needs. And it was working with agencies to address needs around the pandemic and we had wildfire disasters that same year as well. So this group came together and was meeting every other week, and we realized that we were meeting with a lot of the same people or same agencies, and we saw this as an opportunity to really merge our efforts and streamline things. And so starting in August of last year, we merged with the AFN group, and that's been a real boost to us. So we went from quarterly meetings to meeting every other week, and we average about 25 to 30 people, agency representatives, altogether serving thousands of older adults and persons with disabilities throughout the community. And it's just an hour-long meeting, but we're able to have agencies present about their services, share announcements, and address challenges that they may have. And we still, we bring in those elements as well as addressing needs during the pandemic. So next slide, please. I know we have limited time, so I'll move quickly, but we also, of course, through community outreach presentations, reach out to existing local agency networks and groups to provide trainings. We just last week presented to our local senior roundtable of agencies, and just take advantage of opportunities to share about the ADRC model, as Maria shared. It's really just helping people to understand that they're already doing this work, and this is an opportunity for us to come together and have a stronger collaboration around it. So of course, invite them to our network meetings and reach out to interested agencies from those outreach presentations for individual follow-up meetings. Next slide, please. And then for the direct outreach to consumers, we host information booths at community events such as the county fair. We have hosted our own community events through Department of Social Services, which administers our AAA locally, our Aging and Adult Services branch. We had an open house for our one-stop community center and reached over 300 community members through that. It was an outdoor event with free food and music and all kinds of fun stuff that got people out. We also worked with a local agency, our Alliance on Aging, to do media outreach about the AAA and our information referral and assistance services, of course, related to ADRC through print, radio, and television ads, as well as some social media posts. And we annually release a senior resource guide in English and Spanish, which we have a picture of the cover of that guide with an old African-American gentleman holding a camera at the beach on the left of our slide here. So next slide. That's everything. We look forward to answering questions. If you have any, there's our contact information, and please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you for the opportunity to present.
Thank you, Maria and Travis. And just to read chat for those who aren't seeing it, Bill had a great comment about helping individuals, their families, and caregivers navigate resource systems is critical, including helping them to and through eligibility processes, critical to improve equity and access. So thank you, Bill, for that comment. We've got a minute or so for questions before we introduce our next ADRC. Does anyone have anything? Please feel free to unmute or place your question in chat. Okay, we'll move on to introduce, oh, sorry, there's one from Elaine. How much time/people are involved with outreach?
I will try to give that one, Ms. Elaine. I'm actually the one person at our agency focusing on outreach to our community partners. And it really depends on if you have any relationship prior to. If you don't have any, then it might take a couple more calls, because it's about not only getting to know the agency, but how, what are their services, what are the challenges and their gaps, and then you being there more about how can we serve you? How can we help you? And so because we've made some prior relationships, the time that it took to build it, it was much lesser. But yes, it really comes down to building relationships.
Then about the process.
I see, it looks like someone unmuted. Keith, Did you unmute on purpose or?
I did
Great.
unmute.
Yes.
I do have a question. What is your, what service is the most requested up there? What do you guys get for the most requested service under the ADRC?
I would say the service we provide most frequently is the enhanced information referral and assistance. And we're working on, building up our other services as well. Of course, we provide all the core services, but I know Maria's been working really hard to build a lot of inroads within our local healthcare system around transition services. And CSTOL, Central Coast Center for Independent Living, is our core partner providing those transition services. But primarily the most frequently offered one, or the one that we get requests for the most, is the enhanced information referral and assistance.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to introduce Chris Mccoy from ADRC of the Mother Lode now, but also Travis and Maria. It looks like there's a question from Sarah Gross in chat that maybe if you could respond to in chat, that would be great. In the meantime, we'll keep going with, because we have another ADRC to share their practices with. So please welcome Chris Mccoy from ADRC of the Mother Lode. That ADRC serves Amador, Calaveras, Tuolumne, and Mariposa counties. And Chris, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me. I am Chris Mccoy. I am the ADRC program manager for ADRC of the Mother Lode and Area 12 Agency on Aging. I am an Anglo-American middle-aged female with reddish brown hair, and I'm wearing a blue sweater today. So let's talk about, with COVID-19, outreach and awareness is a challenging concept for everyone these days, right? I mean, we're limited in what we can do in buildings, although it's getting to be looser, but we've been limited for the last almost 2 years in what we can do for outreach and awareness. So how do we bring awareness and education to our communities when we are limited? As you heard from Amanda, we cover 4 counties for our ADRC. So we do cover Amador, Calaveras, Mariposa, and Tuolumne counties. So when we started as an emerging ADRC, how do I get the word out about our emerging ADRC? We developed an online resource directory, as you can see on the screen right now. This is a picture of our actual online resource directory. Has icons for food and transportation and veteran services and housing and disability and legal services. It also has a search bar at the bottom where you can search our entire database, and this database does cover all 4 of our counties. It actually covers a 5th county called Alpine County, because our AAA does actually cover Alpine County. And so when I did build this online resource directory, I did decide to go ahead and include Alpine County in that resource directory as well. So again, we cover 4 counties. We had to find a way to advertise our new online resource directory, as well as begin educating our communities about our emerging ADRC. So how did we tackle this challenge? We did it by a lot of social media. We did Facebook posts, we did radio ads, we did newspaper ads, we did flyers. I sent thousands of flyers out to all of our senior centers in all 4 counties. Any agency that asked for our flyers, which I'm going to show you here soon, we definitely sent those out to anyone we could send them out to get the word out. Advertising in local newsletters. Our senior centers have newsletters, and so I threw advertising into their newsletters so that all of their consumers in their Meals on Wheels programs and their senior center programs were getting the word out. I've also been doing virtual presentations. We've been doing a lot of virtual presentations to local agencies, to our senior networks in all of our counties. And I actually did do a small presentation to each board of supervisor as we were emerging. Next slide, please. So this is the flyer that we created for July 2021 through December of 2021. When we went live with our resource directory, this was the flyer we started using. It has a QR code for those that have smartphones. And then of course it has our web address and just kind of talks about what our online resource directory covers. So this is the flyer we were sending out. This is what we were trying to post regularly. this is what we were using for that July 2021 to December 2021. We did 56 Facebook posts in that 6 months. We did 15 days of radio ads, and they did ads 3 times a day. We did 17 newspaper ads. There was a total of 1,130 flyers out to all of our senior centers in all 4 counties. We did 3 advertisements in 3 different senior center newsletters, reaching over 1,000 consumers. And I did 12 virtual presentations in that 6-month time frame to various agencies and our board of supervisors for each county. Once we became designated in December of 2021, we wanted to change our look to match our logo and start tying the online resource directory to our ADRC and start really communicating out to everyone about our ADRC and our online resource directory together, make it one whole thing. So next slide, please. This is our current slide. So we really pulled in the colors from our logo and really made it bright and fun. And again, I started doing the same type of advertising that I've been doing for the last 6 months. We're doing Facebook posts, of course, newspaper ads. I sent all new flyers out to all of the senior centers and any other agencies that would ask for them. We've also done advertising in the local newsletters for the senior centers. And of course, I'm continuing to do virtual presentations. But once we became designated, I do have a presentation that I do now on the ADRC and what it is, who our core partner is, what we offer, and what we cover, what we do. So there is a presentation along with this flyer that we now have that we're getting out there to the communities. In addition to all of that, and of course, let me mention too, our online resource directory is on both our website and DRAIL's website, who is our core partner. We have links straight to the resource directory. And of course, on our websites, we also talk about our ADRC on both of our websites, Area 12's website and DRAIL's website. In addition to all of that, we did also manage to be creative and do a few outside events despite COVID-19. Our ADRC core partner, DRAIL, we partnered with them and we actually completed 3 different battery distribution events to help them get batteries out for PSPS events. We did that in 3 counties. We did Facebook posts before and during each event. We went out to local senior centers and completed applications while consumers were actually driving through their line for their meals. We were talking to them and filling out applications for that battery distribution event and letting them know when to come and pick up that battery. We called all of our consumers at Area 12 that we knew could benefit from a battery backup due to their situations and got them applications in to get batteries. And then of course, we actually held the events in each county at the senior centers, and they were able to come and pick up their batteries and have that battery backup available for that those PSPS events. There was also a list of people that DRAIL is currently helping that are homebound that are actually receiving batteries, getting them delivered to their homes. So there is also that list that we're working on. So how do we go forward with our newly designated ADRC outreach and awareness moving forward? Next slide, please. So I'm kind of trying to get creative. This is a new form of awareness that I'm trying to move forward with. We are working on redesigning our business cards. So the front of our business card will still advertise our AAA and our position, our ADRC position within our AAA, but the back of the business card will have our resource directory on the back of it, so that when we start handing out our business cards to people, they've got access to an easy click to our resource directory right on the back of our business card. So that's one thing we're working on. And then I'm also developing a postcard regarding our ADRC that we can start mailing out and handing out at events once events can start happening. And then of course, I have actually started to schedule 4 more presentations to each of our board of supervisors in each county, where I'm actually going to take them my new ADRC presentation and show them what we are and what we're trying to do out there. And then of course, we do have our advisory committee that is currently working on getting our extended partners going, getting our MOUs with our extended partners, and moving forward with all of that. So that is what we're doing here in the Mother Lode.
Thank you, Chris. That's a lot, a tremendous amount. And I also wanted to acknowledge in chat, there's also discussion with staffing, you know, lots of questions about that, as well as creating resource guides. So, you know, I think this will be a good discussion when we go into breakout rooms to continue that part of it. Are there any questions specifically for Chris or the Mother Lode's work before we move into breakout rooms? Just wanted to have people unmute or add to the chat.
Okay, hold on, here we go.
Hi, Keith. I see that. And then Bill, I see your hand raised. So we'll go Keith first and then Bill.
Hi.
Hi, I'm sharing the computer with Keith.
Hi.
I don't know. I'm Lilibeth Navarro.
Yeah. Hi, Lilibeth.
Thank you for your presentation. That was very informative. I'm curious about your battery distribution. Which of your partners were giving the batteries? Is it you or which of the partners? And so I can imagine that probably a couple of organizations also have their goodies that can be distributed. We're about to have our Abilities Expo here. And, you know, when we're there, we see just about every organization distributing something. That's certainly a draw for people. But how did you work out the logistics? Were those your batteries or did they belong to, was there another organization in charge of distributing them and working with you? And how do you qualify the people?
So thank you, Lilibeth. Yes, it was our DRAIL, our core partner DRAIL. They are our ILC, our Independent Living Center. It is their program that they actually do. They are the ones that are contracted with PG&E to do the battery distributions. So it was their batteries. We just jumped in and helped as a core partner in helping them to organize the events and get the applications processed, get the applications done. We helped by contacting our consumers that we knew would qualify for those battery backups. And the qualifications for a battery backup is really honestly very easy. They basically need to have a life-sustaining device, such as like a CPAP or a medical device that needs to be powered during power outages, like a medical bed, or even the chairs that lift or the chairs that recline, electronic chairs, power scooters, things of that nature is what qualifies them for that. If they are on the medical baseline program, then that's great too. Not a requirement, but is a good thing if they're on the medical baseline program too. If they're not on the medical baseline program, then DRAIL can actually help them to get on the medical baseline program due to the machines that they have that automatically qualifies them for medical baseline with PG&E. So that was the only requirements. We just literally did the footwork and helped DRAIL with getting the applications processed and done. And then of course we helped them the day of the event to pass out those batteries, have them sign for them, because there is a contract that they do with DRAIL to receive that battery.
Thank you. Thank you.
And looks like we have time for one final question or comment before we move to breakout rooms. Bill, I think you had your hand raised. I don't know if you still wanted
to. Yeah, I did. Thank you for that. I'm a volunteer at an emerging ADRC in Alameda County. And I want to share an idea that we're playing with to try to bridge the digital divide. And I want to first celebrate all the different outreach efforts that Christina and others mentioned with their media blitz and so on. But I want to share this idea that we came up with an idea of very short videos in different languages on the 3 things you need to know about IHSS, for instance, or whatever, and that those videos would be in different languages and that they would be portable because you could have them accessible on a smartphone with volunteers out in the community. So they're out at, let's say, a Hispanic grocery store or a farmer's market or whatever. So we really could bring the information to the people in their languages in the community. So again, we haven't developed it yet, but I wanted to share that idea because it makes the information portable and accessible for people who either do not have the technology or can't afford the technology to access the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. That's a great comment and a great segue into our discussion as we move into breakout rooms. Thank you, Chris, as well for your remarks. Really briefly, we wanted to just share another poll, and Alex, if you don't mind sharing our poll, and then we'll move into breakout rooms for further discussion.
Thank you, Amanda. This is our poll number 2, consists of 1 question. What methods of outreach works best for your ADRC? It's a multiple choice answer. We have bulk mail, newspaper articles, marketing, flyers, social media, conferences, events, booths, media stories, telephone outreach, outreach through partnerships, and other. And we'll give a few more seconds. Get your responses in, please. About halfway there. Okay, I'm going to end the poll now. Okay, we're going with the top 3. It looks like outreach through partnerships is number 1, followed in a tie with flyers and social media. It's really great to see this response. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Thank you. Hopefully that's some food for thought for our next part of the time we have together. So we'll move into some breakout rooms for maybe between 5 and 10 minutes, and just a time for all of you to connect with each other, share questions or thoughts. There's some questions posted here if you want to kind of take those as you move into breakout rooms. And then if each of you, as you move into your breakout room, just notice the number you're in and then kind of take notes, and then maybe we will do share out if there's time at the end of our time today. So I will read the questions briefly, and then Mylene, if you could get the breakout rooms ready, that would be great. What is a successful outreach and awareness campaign that your ADRC has done? We've already heard from 2 ADRCs today with some ideas. And then how do you measure the success of your ADRC's outreach and awareness efforts? And what can our team do here to support your efforts? So with that, Mylene, if you could open up breakout rooms, and we'll see you in a bit. Thank you. And looks like we'll start bringing people back from breakout rooms.
Did you need me to do anything else, Amanda?
No, thank you, Mylene. Appreciate it. Hello, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for participating, and hopefully you all learned a little bit more about each other in your ADRC practices. We only have a few minutes left for our time together, but I didn't know if anyone in the breakout rooms would like to share thoughts or questions. Breakout room 1, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to share. Can't see a hand raised for breakout room 1, so I'll move over to breakout room 2. Any thoughts? Or 3 or 4?
Did I see Hans raise his hand? Okay.
I could share briefly about breakout room 2. We had some good discussion around a couple of different folks shared about just having practical events or activities like the battery distribution that was talked about, and as well as pop-up events locally in underserved areas, and how how well received those were by the community, and also how it helped to just doing an event together like that with a core partner with the ILC help that ADRC to strengthen their connections.
Thank you, Travis. And there's also some information in chat that's coming through based on some of the discussion. Bill, thank you for sending the link to Home Alone Revisited. Highlights the fact how family caregivers more typically are dealing with complex medical issues and care management. Any other thoughts from breakout rooms?
Mario, this is Rosie. Would you share your Let's Do Lunch program? A real quick snippet of it?
You know, I'd love to. Yes, let me start over. I'm Mario Janison. I'm with Community Access Center. We're the independent living center that covers all of Riverside County. I'm the supervisor out in the Palm Desert office. Our main office is in Riverside. But what we've found success with out here in the desert is there's a agency called Jewish Family Services. We work with the senior apartments and senior centers out here, and they have a Let's Do Lunch program where each month they go to a different senior center or senior apartment, and they have a topic that they'll have a presenter on. So they offer the lunch, and then they find a presenter to do whatever it is. So for the last 5 years, I've been working with them, doing presentations on emergency preparedness for people with disabilities. And if I try to invite people to come to a program on people with disabilities and learn that stuff, nobody ever shows up. So I have to infiltrate something that somebody else is already doing. Now they'll have anywhere from 25 to 35 people come to each one of these events. They're not really sure who's going to be there to present. But once they're finished, I do an hour presentation. And once they're finished, they're just tickled as pink to have somebody come there, talk about people with disabilities, seniors, access and functional needs, a little bit about preparedness, what they should be thinking about during an emergency, the power outages, things of that nature. And we provide them each with a solar battery backup bank, which will keep their phones charged 3 to 4 or 5 days. It depends on your phone, but at least 3 days, you can keep your telephone going, which you use for email, internet, just about everything nowadays. We found that some of the backup batteries that we put at people's houses don't last through the actual power outage, and they're a little difficult to operate. But if they can use their phones, we try to teach them how to learn how to evacuate. What are you going to do during that 2 days that you need to get out of your house? Can you make it through? Do you need to get out? SCE will even supply a hotel. So there's a lot of things we do at these outreaches there that bring them in from all sides. We also do a lot of AT reuse program through those programs. We let them know what the ILC does, what the ADRC does. And after each one of those presentations, our office is usually flooded with calls for all kinds of different things. So that's what we really found successful, is glom onto somebody else's presentations. Find out what is somebody else is doing and try to infiltrate their program And you can do it anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. I have various things, but I usually do about an hour at each of these here. And they've been very successful. I'm just glad I get to be out in front of people again. I was stifled for 2 years there and it was killing me. I'm done. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mario. And again, it's a great example of that outreach through partners, which really does seem effective. And a lot of people seem to find that an effective tool right now. So thank you. Thank you for that great case example for the close of our day today, our afternoon. So as we wrap up today, I want to thank, first of all, the Mother Lode and Monterey ADRCs for your presentations. And also just kind of take a look in chat before you leave, so you kind of take a look at some of the information and links that others have shared. So thank you so much for all that information. So as Wilson mentioned at the beginning of our hour, our next roundtable will be in March. It's set for Friday, March 25th at 12 p.m., so in a month. So we look forward to seeing you then. Look out for an invitation soon. And then as we end today, we will do just a quick poll. Alex will be reading that in a moment. And then please feel free to log off once you've answered the poll. It just is a little survey just to make sure we're giving you what you'd like to see in these roundtables. So thank you again, everyone. Good to see you and have a good weekend.
Thank you, Amanda. This is our third and final poll, consists of 2 questions. 1, overall, how would you rate the quality of this session? Excellent, very good, good, fair, or poor. Second question, what type of format would you like to see more of in these roundtables? More open discussion time, more breakout room time, more local ADRC presentation, or okay as is? Excellent, thank you. I have ended the poll.